Israel has transgressed Article 2 of the Convention by committing actions that fall within the definition of genocide.
As I've mentioned, this is a historic case, and not just due to the nature of the charges, but also who is being charged with genocide. As you know, we've heard that the ICJ was set up, you know, in direct relation to the genocide committed against the Jews in the Holocaust. But for Israel, I have never, and you know, this is my professional and personal opinion, but there's always been oppressors in history. There has always been colonizers in history. I'm Irish, I know that very well. But what is very, very unique about Israel is that they are both the oppressor and present themselves as the victim, and not only the victim, but the single victim in this. So we've never seen in history an oppressor present themselves as the victim and the only victim in the situation. And this has worked for a very, very long time, 75 years. But the tide has very much turned, and the world and so many people who did not know about this conflict before, who had not been to the region. I myself have spent many months in Ramallah. I research on this, I work on this, but so many people who do not know about this, you know, a spotlight was shown on it, and people, it is not, people like to say it's a complex issue. Yeah, there's complexities to the Israeli-Palestinian conflict, but regarding what we're seeing in Gaza, there's nothing complex about standing against a genocide. There's absolutely nothing complex about that. And so, you know, with real-time evidence and with all our evidence on our screens, on our phones, and people being better able to discern what's disinformation and misinformation, this, you know, Israel has very much had a spotlight on it, and it has not come out the way it wanted to come out of this. What is next is that we wait for the verdict, and I'm feeling, you know, very positive regarding the divisional measures. The divisional measures being that Israel must stop the bombardment, must stop the killing, must stop the destruction, a complete and immediate ceasefire. Now there is an issue with the ICJ, is that they don't have any enforcement mechanism. The only enforcement mechanism they have is the UN Security Council. So for those provisional measures to be legally binding, and that meaning to be enforced and to be actually adhered to, they must be brought to the UN Security Council. But then we come back to the same issue about the US being on the Security Council and the US using their veto. However, the small bit of the optimist in me, the small ounce that's still left, would like to think that if there was an ICJ ruling that stating these provisional measures, that the war must stop, the destruction, the bombing and the killing, that this pressure and this international pressure, with all the international judges and the court and the world watching, that the US would not be so brazen at the UN Security Council to veto that resolution.